last night and I still haven't heard from them. The headlines got us thinking that we're all gonna die. They convince us that we have to buy a ticket for the afterlife. Life, 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 life. Where the world is hottest,
Disco X on the line, just as I suspected. No one really gets over me. I'm unaffected. Why would you try to ever put me second? You're just another groupie to me. No, I'm out here single, and I need some real. Now I got standards. Give a fuck how you feel. I'm out here single. Tell me what's the deal. Now I got standards. Give a fuck how you feel. You feel good, glimmer, set fire now, I want you to burn. You're so pretty. I want it for the fun, yeah. Taste a little bit of pleasure paradise. Eat the apple out of my eye. Set fire now. Follow the joy. Set fire now. I want you to burn.
Morning, Tradetopia. What's happening? What's good? All right. So I'm gonna pull up some sauce here for y'all. Get this started. Get this started off right. Where we at? All right, here we go. What the? Chill. Wow, this is great. There we go. All right, so you guys can go ahead and read through this if you'd like. Something to just prime the mind, give yourself healthy reminders on, I would say, a tactical and reasonable approach to trading in the mornings. So welcome everyone. Yeah, same here, man. I did not feel this week at all. I feel like we just blasted through it and somehow it's Friday. Crazy. ¿Cómo estamos, Daniel, Carlos? What's good? Harshi, how are you? Puccini, Mateo. What's up, Corey? Edwin, Seth. We got morning, Michael. Patrick, Linda. Paul Song, what's up, brother? How are you? We catching pips and trails today. I love it. Joe, Lindsay. We got Tio in here. Gabriel, Edgar, Jose, Alejandro Rizo Porras. What's up, man? ¿Cómo estás? All right, so cool. You know, we're here live. You can go ahead and get your, you got trader friends. Let them know we're trading live every day. But a biggest thing here, guys, is remember, this is the infinite game. It's not about what happens today. It's about what we do today. So let's do it right. Let's do it right. A couple key things off the rip here. We have a very, yesterday we had a lot of good bullish movement overall on a few different things. We'll get into stocks and all that good stuff a little bit later today. But I want to kick everything off with indices, what kind of movements we ended up having, where we ended up dropping into yesterday, the reverses that we've gotten. Is it done dropping? So where are we at with all this? And what a reversal we got to end the day. I mean, come on. Look at this. So let's dive into it. What ended up happening here? So if we understand, if every day we can get to a conclusion on why things went the way that they did, or at least our best understanding of why the market did what it did, then we're able to, I'd say, just consistently have a better edge day after day after day after day. So let's dive into this. I'm going to kick it off with 15-minute time frame on Dow and NASDAQ. So yesterday, we ended up getting Dow Jones to play off of an order block right here when NQ Tech took out the highs, took out the London highs and the New York Open highs. After it made the second push to the upside, it's actually when we started seeing, or actually before that, we started seeing the market dump with Dow, reverse into this little order block that you can't really see here. You have to go into the 1 minute. But we get that, so I'll go bar replay here for you guys. So we'll go into here. And yeah, it played right out of this perfectly. And had we traded, it had price maintained, thank you so much, had price maintained these lows for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then played off of this, we're in there. That's one of our signature plays, a shakeout play, right? It's basically pumps higher to take out sellers, lure in buyers, drops right back down, and then this is that basically break and retest type of idea. Everything happened so quickly, so I didn't really have the proof for demand to confidently take a short. So it is what it is. And then from here, we start seeing everything drop. Now, thank you, Edwin. You reminded me. I do want to actually, quick intermission, hold that thought, hold the Dow Jones. We do have Mexican peso that pulled into our zone, and I don't remember if it was still trading up there or where we're at with this, but I think we're in the zone still. All right, yeah, so we're basically trading right around this zone still. And earlier in the week, we were looking for a mitigation. So the pump, which happened earlier, was over here. So this goes up like 15 ticks or so. Right now, we did see a little reversal, but not quite the move that I'm looking for. So I am willing. I'm down. I'm down to short. Peso here. It is a little bit below where our ideal entry was. It still would give a proper opportunity. So I do still think it's worth it, but your risk reward does change. Like that's just what's going to happen. So you can choose to make a decision to take a position now if you wanted to I didn't have a limit set, so I didn't get my entry up here. But if you do choose to take an entry, then the risk reward changes to like right there. And in order to get some sort of, I'd say for this to be worth it, getting into a 2R, at least a 1.5 and beyond, that obviously makes things worth it. So trading into this imbalance is the most conservative, high probability opportunity for sure. And that, I would say it still makes it worth it. But seeing the way that we melted off, came back up, and depending on how we drop, I think that's going to make all of the difference. But getting into this area, and if you haven't, the better the RR. Right now we're still all the way over here. So you could get a 2R from exactly where we are right now. So I'm going to take this position. I only, if I were you, only take this if it follows a system that you understand, or if you're still learning, or if you're still kind of figuring out, all right, how does like these, how do you trade? How do all these things work? Then that's cool. Experiment. Remember, you should have at least a demo account. If you're trading futures, you can open up practice accounts, demo accounts. All of these things are totally available to you. So that would be my recommendation, is to at least start being active, engage with the market, get experience. Don't just sit on the sidelines watching things happen. You want to be in the game. You need to be able to kind of just know that, okay, this is what it's like when there's risk on the table. This is what it's not like when there's risk on the table. So, all right, let's see what we got here. All right, so I'm in here, active entry. We'll follow up with this. Basically, if we see this drop about 15 points, 15.6 or so over here, then I'd move my stop to break even. So I'm active in this idea. All right. Now, going back to Dow. So with Dow Jones and NASDAQ, we started seeing Dow just absolutely melt to kick things off. Just absolute meltdown, just off the rip. So when we see something like that, what's the first thing that you should probably think about doing? When you just notice, okay, Dow Jones, this is one's melting, it's dropping. Should that be the setup that you're looking to buy right away? No, definitely not. Dow is leading the bearish move, and at the same time, we can see that while Dow is, just falling into Monday's trading, you can see NASDAQ still chilling where Thursday's London imbalance was. So it's dropping nowhere near as intensely. So you have to allow Dow or NASDAQ to give you an opportunity. Let NASDAQ get you to an area. And that's what we got. And I shared this one on in our community over here. So over here, we get the Tradetopia trades. And I said, who can tell me why I'm looking to buy here? I'm looking for a 50-point mitigation before adjusting stops. So it was the same setup. We see that there. Here we are, same exact opportunity. And this here played out really well. It got close, we got into some drawdown. I'm sure, cheeks were clenched at this point. And then the market ripped. And this is where you started to see resistance, consolidation. So our role is to collect from the market. It's not to catch the biggest move possible. It's not to guess anything. It's let's take high probability entries and let's take high probability exits that are worth the risk. And in this example, this gives you right around a 3R. And that's not even if you had a perfect entry. If you had a way better entry, obviously the risk reward's even better. And based on what I saw in the community, a lot of you guys collected on this one. So, let me know if you did take this and you got to take some profits. Post them in the community. Want to see you guys get those wins. But when the market got down to here, this is trading off of that Asian session open and liquidity capture. But there was more. There was still more. What we hadn't seen was we didn't see Dow Jones actually get to this Asian session open here. There's like one more. This is from the week where the week started. So we hadn't gotten down this low yet. And that's all the way down here with NASDAQ. This is like way down over here. So the market keeps moving. And we just have New York open right now, so I'm going to get into current price action in a second. But we get into this zone, and what happens is we don't get down to here yet, and we start to see Dow rip. So we end up trading back down to here, still within this range, and Q, just so you can see, NASDAQ drops into this right over here. So it drops into some more imbalance, clearing out the lows. Transparently, I didn't know that we were going to get here or anything like that. But once we did and we spiked down to here, what we started to see was, and this is where this gets more advanced. This is, advanced price action, and then the awareness of divergence and between these two. But look at how Dow starts to just keep its composure. And when NASDAQ tanks, Dow Jones is unbothered. YM is just a minimal drop into here. This is where you can see that there's a shift in momentum. And now Dow holds it down and everything rips. In my opinion, I think this was a little bit more difficult to kind of like get a position in. But you see NASDAQ drop down and then come right back up. So this is what we call the break retest, but we're not trading re-break and retest like the majority. We're actually using that psychology so that once the retest money comes in, then we get on the other side of that trade to use them as liquidity. So this would have been the entry model on a shakeout on NASDAQ towards the end of the day, and would have actually played out in your favor because just a lot of volume came in to end the session. So anyways, fast forward to the present. Right now, what we're noticing is Dow and NQ, and I'll pull up, S&P here in a little bit, but we're seeing a lot of bullish momentum. Now, there's a couple a couple ways we can look at this. In real time, Dow is trading more aggressively, right? It's pushing more bullish off the rip. It's already above the liquidity from Asian and London session highs. So we're already clearing this. Great. And Q, on the other hand, is not as bullish. It's nowhere near as aggressive. It's not above the Asian session high or the London session high. So we're not trading up here yet. Not even close. So that's one. In real-time price action, which is what helps us kind of decide what can, put us into the right trades, what's leading, what has the momentum in the day. That's one thing. However, the other thing that I want you to take a look at is where are we relative to yesterday's trading? So if you look at what happened yesterday, we're trading way up here for NASDAQ. We're trading like an hour after New York Open, whereas Dow is way down here still. Like Dow just melted so aggressively over here. And funny enough, we're actually trading around the same areas. The fact is that Dow was just so aggressive on the way down. So look at how much imbalance we have here with Dow Jones. So much. I would love for us to find a way to sneak into a buy and then catch a huge rip to the upside. That would be great. So we'll see if there's an opportunity here. We'll look left. A phrase we used to say, you look left to get right. But we can go check that out. But something that I'm noticing here is NQ. NQ right now started off the session pumping to the upside real quick and then now starting to drop. So why would the market go down then up like that? What is the narrative? What is the intention? Well, if you noticed, right, Dow had to sweep liquidity on the left, so that's what it's doing. From here, we saw NASDAQ spike down a little bit here, just 15 minutes ago or so, 20 minutes ago. It's all right, and Q played off of this at the moment. Cool. For me, this is a very quick drop, sideways movement, up and down. Not my favorite. Like, I'm not in love with the buy right there. And what I want to, when I look at the markets here, I want to have a good awareness of, can we, on the extremes. So what we want to do is we kind of want to work from the outside in. So on the extremes, either from the week or the month, we want to find our way in understanding, okay, where is there big liquidity events? Where is there, in liquidity or liquidity captures? So here is where we see NASDAQ make that last drop down before everything reverses. So if we are to trade out of the lows and the highs of the day, the week, etc., this is one of those zones. Would be here. The same thing. If we go over to Dow, do we have a similar movement? Not so much. What we do have with Dow is really healthy price action, down and up, so it's very much rebalancing, moving nice and steady. What Dow does have here is it actually has this nice drop right there before the market goes back up. Now, I wouldn't take buys on Dow if it drops aggressively first. If it does that, I'm chilling, not looking to take any positions. So we will see. Another thing that you can notice, and the easiest way to go about this is going from left to right and just the awareness of how the market's moving. So here is where we see the London or Asian session low is right there. Here's where we have some liquidity. Okay, so there's equal lows right there. You have the Asian session low. This is right before London, but we can consider Asian low. Okay. Cool. So there is incentive for price to come down. Great. We already took out the highs here, so we'll put, this is Asian, London, high. This is way too small. Why is this blue? All right, whatever. So that gets cleared. We see that. Great. Right now, as soon as we cleared these highs, the market came down, and then it's coming right back up. So it's a little choppy. There's definitely incentive for NASDAQ to take out these highs as well. Okay. So I'm not quite sold on any sort of shorts on Dow yet or anything like that. We already saw it clear it. Great. See the move up, down, right back up. So look at how Dow Jones is, if it keeps trading down here, and then let's say NQ keeps trading a little bit higher and it sweeps these highs, I could be interested in shorting Dow again. I want to see where Dow Jones is at when NQ takes out these highs, or I guess if it does. It seems like it would, but that's where I could get interested in this, because if we see something like this, like we would see liquidity, right? So taking out these highs, maybe even above here, but taking out highs here, there's a chance that the market wants to then drop again. That happening, then now we know, okay, a lot of liquidity has been acute. Like there's money available here for shorts to enter, so there's probability. And then depending on where Dow gets to, we might be looking for shorts, somewhere in here. It's just like you kind of would just have to adapt to the market. And let's see where this could get us to. So I would have some sort of, I would just, I guess, be ready more than anything for an idea. So like right now, look at this. Just like that, we see NQ take out the highs. Dow doesn't even really give us any pullbacks. This might just short right out of here. It might just melt through like you're seeing it now. So, yeah, I mean, I really would have wanted to see at least some sort of pullback in here so we can get a better risk reward. Otherwise, it's not as, it's just not as nice. So we can see that we're definitely seeing more demand on the downside. These highs were not as strong. So maybe we get a little bit of pullback. Maybe NQ wants to go a little bit higher, and then that can kind of reel us into entries or something. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now with Dow. I would love to be able to position myself here, but we need a pullback. Need something. Let's see what if the market wants to give us anything here. And a lot of this happens so quickly. So, for example, all right, look, NQ pushing up even more. Dow still chilling. YM still not budging at all. So look, we're seeing quite the liquidity event here. Dow is just chilling out. If anything, we're gonna get maybe something out of like right here. I would say it'd be our best bet. Like right there. If you wanted to tighten your stop more, then this obviously makes this entry more attractive. Feel free. All right, so entries right now, I'm gonna take a position here. How do you guys feel about this idea right now? All right, so we are immediately going into some profit. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Just quick, something light. All right, so I played out of this, just right into this zone. NQ still ripping. So like I mentioned, as soon as it got into the zone, like this is where I was looking. I didn't think we were going to get that deep of a pullback. So I'm in here with a couple cons right now. So a little tap into the order block out of this moment as well. Huge. We had a huge pump up here. So that can definitely push this even further down. And look at that. This was like the last chance. And now down it's going. Fantastic. So with the trade like this one, where we were able to catch, just pin the high right there, and we're already starting to see a pretty decent drop, and we're seeing Nasdaq as well starting to lose some momentum over here. Now the question becomes, and this is really important, where and when do you move your stop loss? Should we go break even now? Are we gonna just kind of give this a bit more space to run? That's the decision that needs to be made. So in my perspective, because we saw a pretty nice move to the upside here, like this was pretty aggressive. We got like 80 something points. I want to see us drop a bit further, and considering we have a decent amount of liquidity here from London session, again revisited during London, I think there's a chance that we can get a nice move down. But the biggest factor that I can give this some room to breathe is the fact that we're just not ripping as aggressively as Nasdaq is. Nasdaq is just on a rampage right now, and Dow is just like kind of hanging out inside of this consolidation after it swept these highs. So we're nowhere near trading up here. So I am willing to hold and just kind of see where this takes us. I have my stop in here. And it's now back in the zone. So if you were interested in entries, you have to ask yourself, is it still worth taking? Now, did we close maybe the order block here? This one right there, did we mitigate there? That's a possibility. But did we mitigate the huge pump to the upside? That, I don't think we did yet. So I'm willing to let this ride a little bit to find out. But of course, as always, trade management is really important. Now, where have we gotten to with Nasdaq? Now NQ is trading up into where we last saw this huge spike to the upside over here. So we saw a huge move to the upside before everything started tanking. We're in this imbalance. So I do see motive for NQ to drop. And all of this while Dow is big chilling. And honestly, a little surprised because Dow has all of this imbalance it could fill. It has a ton. So that's why in this short, I'm not going to look to hold this for too long. I want to, get especially after we clear these liquidity, like my stops are definitely just protected. If we clear this first, I'm interested in clearing these lows, trading into imbalance, and then kind of seeing where everything's at. But with that being said, the amount of imbalance over here is more attractive. I just don't have any setups that would, at the moment, give indication to long the market. So for now, I chill. Okay. Still sitting basically around entry. We have NQ with very deep retracements. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just, we're going to let the market just do its thing. It's got about 45 point drawdown to play around through. So that's just got nothing. We can't just keep looking at it and it's not going to change anything. Peso right now getting into some pretty good drawdown. Let's see if it picks up momentum on our end right now as well. From here, we can take a look at other majors. And I guess what I didn't consider, which I have a bad habit of doing this, is S&P. S&P is also rebalancing at the moment. So if you take a look at this, we're not seeing S&P that's been clearing imbalances, trading into previous previous support. Just tapped into that. So this is where now it just hit a, let's say, a structure, and then it could lose some momentum here. So this just area in general, I'm not saying I'm going to sell here or anything like that, but this is just where the market could lose momentum and reverse, and that could help our cause here for with Dow Jones. All right, so let's see. See how that goes. But anyways, beyond S&P, we can take a look at all the majors here. Australian still moving to the upside. This looks just more and more like consolidation. We have a high here from London session on Australian. We then get another move here, just sideways movement. Looks more like just liquidity to me. Pound still moving sideways, still just building up liquidity. Not much going on over here. 6C, that trade that Michael was looking at played out really nicely. I think it was, where was it? Here? Yeah, so this one ended up playing out. Still kind of ranging. Still don't have another setup there. Euro ends up playing out of that zone that we talked about yesterday. So we end up getting the confirmation. Right? The market ends up staying relatively bearish. So we see the flip in structure from higher highs and higher lows to lower lows. So it stays bearish. It worked its way up to here and then closes out this pump right there. So this ends up playing out pretty nicely. So if you guys were looking for shorts, you know, looks like you got it. Further ideas not currently present for me. Why? That's not what I wanted. There we go. Our yen play, beautiful, ends up dropping. And then, you know what? I've totally missed this one. I guess I didn't have an alert or anything. But we had our second yen trade play out again. So, really nice. Update on Dow. Still trading. Pushing on up. So, not quite what we wanted here. Still within our zone. Let's see if ES wants to, if we're going to see a drop overall. But yeah, we're seeing a little bit of drawdown now. Still got about, at least I do. If you have your highs, your stop up here, then you have a lot more wiggle room. I had mine like within a small time frame structure here for the sake of this trade. But yeah, looking about, it's like 10 points of drawdown at the moment. Volatility is definitely kicking in now. So yeah, yen shorts are just on fire right now. Clean yen shorts. NZD. More of the same. Choppiness. No real like break of structures anywhere. Just poking up and down, up and down, up and down, losing momentum on both sides. CHF, more consolidation. So honestly, just tons of consolidation across the board. For me, that's just boring. Gold still ripping. I'm still holding that position from last Wednesday. So currently running about an 11R on, I think I had like a, I think it was like 20% of my trade was running still. So yeah, this is starting to build up, honestly, at this point. Silver still moving on. With gold, what's interesting is this over here. Gold gave a kind of a cool move here during yesterday's New York, like a little after New York, where it cleared the lows and then ripped. So we see it sweep here. This gets below a lot of Asian session liquidity. So we see that trade into this range. It just eats that up and then rallies. So here, see it spike down, come back up, come back down. So it rebalanced right away, for sure. And there is an imbalance over here, so I wonder if we see this sell-off mitigate. Right there. Now what I'm curious about is, do we see the market come back here? And does silver have a similar setup or not? If you look at silver, so look at the timing, right? The timing here, this is Thursday, a little after New York Open. We don't really see it the same. It does end up dropping later on in the day before the market, keeps pushing. But gold is just, I would say, much more bullish still. So I'll place an alert here. See if I pull the trigger on gold at these lows. Right now, Dow is fighting for its life. Fighting for its life. If your stops are over here, like just to higher the structure, then still have a chance. If it were in the smaller time frame here, there's like a 15-second little like this little dip right there. I was like, all right, cool, we can clean up 15 points or so off the table, but this is still trading higher. So the way I'm looking at this was, and this officially I got stopped out on that trade. So let's see here, just double checking. Did I get stopped out? Yeah, I did. So on this setup, what did we learn in terms of trade management, at least? What I'm noticing here was the following, and this is what I've been actually building a case study around this. So here we had a couple different things. We had the sweep of liquidity. So there's a buy order that opens up here. Check. That captures liquidity. Also check. The market then drops, right? Gets below here. So we start seeing demand start to build out here a little bit. Nothing crazy. So it comes up, starts to trade, downwards over here. We see it just trade for whatever, like 10 minutes or something. And then we had NQ at the same time looking to clear liquidity, which it did, and rebalance, which it also did. And then the first thing that we did see happen here with Dow was when it came into the order block. So the market came right back into here where we had the market pump and then drop. So it came up to here and then immediately closed this out. So the way that it moved up, and then here I can just kind of show you guys. We saw the market pump up here. So this lures in buyers, then drops. It came right back into that zone, and then we saw it drop pretty aggressively, right? So we saw that happen there. They saw a 50-point drop right out of that zone, which is like this one here. So right there, right? So we saw it played right out of here. And it rejected it. So it was a 30-point move up, 50-point drop. At this moment, the order block was mitigated. So stops could have gone to break even. And I briefly mentioned that. I didn't do that, so it doesn't even matter. But this is a trade management tool. It's a trade management form. From there, if the market would have continued to trade lower, confirm bearish structure, which it didn't, it lost that momentum, then this could have become a valid short right here. But unfortunately for us, this did not happen. We didn't keep trading here. We lost. What did we lose here? We lost the demand. And so we saw it started to get weaker over here. And if anything, what that showed us was, unfortunately, when the market played out of this order block, what this actually did was basically sweep a little bit of liquidity here. So I swept a little bit of this right there. Cleared that and then pushed to the upside. Now, would I be incentivized to buy here? No, because NQ is definitely way more bullish. But is there a chance that we don't really see anything stopping this until way later? Yeah. So, took an L on YM. That's cool. That's fine. Still have two areas that I'm considering for shorts. The big one at the top at the extreme. And then there is a chance that the market wants to play off of this here. Why the market got down to these lows. This in real time was a 5-minute engulfing candle. So this lures in buyers and then their hearts get ripped out. It just fucking dies. So from here, you have a pretty strong order block right there. You could see a reversal out of this for sure, especially since it's a lagging. This is the lagging one. So could we see a reversal out of here? For sure. Would I have a tight management on this? Absolutely. So there's two sell zones that are interesting to me. The order block, and then above that, the big institutional buy that liquidates everything else. So these are definitely valid in my opinion. And now that we've broken above again and we're taking out imbalance. Now we're starting to see Dow Jones, starting to see YM push more aggressively relative to NASDAQ over here. So I have alerts here and I have alerts here for possible shorts. Now on the bright side, if your heart was, broken because you lost one trade, then you know what? It's going to be okay, pal. Mexican peso looks sketchy. Just like my voice did. So yeah, Mexican peso looks sketchy. Look like all hope was gone. And then it's melting. Starting to fall. We like that. At this point, melting isn't as aggressive, but yeah, it's starting to drop back to entry. If you were patient or you had higher entries, beautiful, then you're good. My original entry was where I wanted the trade was a little bit higher, but then since it started to trade away, wanted to just lock something in. And we saw the market, like what actually, where this was incentivized to go to was this a little imbalance over here. These don't always get filled, but in this case, that's where the market wanted to get to. So it filled this over here and then traded right out of there. That wasn't my entry, but yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Starting to see this continue to move well into our, in our favor here. So I think we were like right there. And yeah, let's see if this continues to go. Now, remember, this was like 15 ticks to the upside. I want to see this. Like, I think minimum we get to here. Because the entry wasn't the greatest, you either reduce your stop or you just go to break even and hope you don't get pullbacks, and this just kind of keeps trending in the same direction. So I'll have I have my eyes on this. Now we have the continuation of oil. We were looking at this. We were considering, different ideas. I talked about how we already mitigated out of this zone. But yeah, oil is just still cruising to the downside. Remember, earlier last month, I was talking about all of this liquidity building up and how we needed to clear this thing. And we had some shorts lined up, but then we ended up rebalancing, playing out of this just previous structure, and that was it. That's all I needed, and now it's working its way down. So the market has made lows recently from right here, and I wouldn't say it's liquidity. It just played out of this low over at this range before the market decided to continue to rally at the moment. I want to see a bit more movement before I'm, super, like before I'm bullish on this. I want to see a bit more proof that we're switching momentum over. Yes, we went from, lower highs, lower lows. And we did trade above here, and we've been trading above here for a few hours. I would love to see, the market keep confirming this as of now. Like, for example, look at yesterday. Yesterday, the market drops aggressively, comes right back up. Okay. So it comes right back up. And then from here, we started seeing losing momentum, come back up, and we lose momentum again. So it's kind of similar. Like, we see the market drop. Sure, there's little demand over here. But then when the market comes back up, there's also not that much demand over here. The market doesn't keep trading up here. So, not really my favorite opportunity here. So I would rather have either more demand, and then later, sure, we could look for something here, but only when that happens. That's my take on this. Like, I want to, the market needs to prove to me, like, yo, we're bullish. Otherwise, we're chilling. Now, okay, let's take a look at some crypto. I think it looks like ETH tapped 4K. Wow, look at you, look at us, 4,000. Back to December price action. Sheesh. ETH is alive. Those of you that picked up ETH in April, it took 120 days. And in 120 days, you're up 183%. Now, I want you to remember what were the headlines so you don't tweak in the future. What was happening here? Trump is the worst president ever. We were in Thailand. Trump sucks. Economy's going to shit. Stocks are going to we're in a recession. Blah, 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 blah. Crypto is dead. Everyone was tweaking. Everyone was panic selling. Meanwhile, this was like right before we were launching Tradetopia. But meanwhile, what did we know? For those of you that have watched me live stream since 2018 or just for a few years, dude, this was textbook. Liquidity capture, rebalance, boom, done. This got into March 2023 price action, and then this rips. So there was nothing to be afraid of by any means. You can't let the headlines get to your head. Bitcoin at the same time was textbook rebalancing as well. We got into the 70,000s once again. And if you have gone through the Smart Money Playbook, which if you haven't, check this bad boy out. Don't miss out on this. I'll go ahead and send this to you guys in a second. But what did we see on the daily or the 4 hour? We got textbook shakeout setup, sweeps the lows, plays into imbalance, immediately rips to the upside. So what do we realize with this? Little demand. This is a textbook break and retest for the masses. Pushes down again, instills fear, lures in seller, plays into the imbalance. Buy scenario right here. Plays into the structure, plays into the order block. Oh, this is beautiful. Just beautiful. Oh, you know what I just remembered? I have a futures trade open on an account from months ago that I forgot about. Yo. I got to go look for that. But I totally have a trade open. Holy shit. Sometimes the best thing that can happen for you is that you forgot that you traded. Sometimes that's the absolute worst thing. But anyways, but yeah, here, textbook, shakeout on the daily. So you can go fractal with these. Like you can go high time frame, low time frame. And these things can play out. So anyways, what's supporting ETH ripping so much, and I know some of you probably don't care about any of this, which you should. You know, you're just leaving generational wealth on the table, but whatever. Once we started seeing ETH BTC flip, so like when you see this squeeze here, obviously big move, squeeze again, huge move, squeeze again, big move. But not just the ETH BTC chart, but the Bitcoin dominance chart. So for example, and this just goes to show how much is Bitcoin going to run the market versus everything else. I think I added it and then I think I took it away. Yeah, my bad. So here, look at Bitcoin dominance lose momentum again. That's big time. The daily time frame broke, came back up to here. I actually thought we were going to go a little bit higher, but now we're still bleeding out. What this means is that altcoins, altcoins are starting to pick up more of the market cap of the entire market itself. So if we look at crypto right now, some are having big days. Chainlink is ripping right now. Optimism, Atom. So cause this, wow, surprised. So some movement, nothing too crazy. Dog is still pushing pretty nicely. So we've seen in the last few days, this has gone up about 20%. So pretty decent. But anyways, first you tend to see big moves on ETH. So ETH starts to lead the way, and then you see more movement on that usually slips into alts. It waterfalls into alts. So to give you guys perspective, with the total market cap, we are the highest we ever saw was a few weeks back here in the middle of July with total 2. This is if you take Bitcoin out of the equation, where's the rest of the crypto market trading? We're actually not trading at the highest we've ever been at. The highest we ever traded was in December 7th, 2024. So we have ways to go for alts to even crack those all-time highs. And even then, if you look at, and this is the most interesting number in my opinion, is the altcoin market outside of ETH and outside of Bitcoin. So if you take both of the biggest players out of the game, we barely tapped above that in December, And then if you take out the top 10 coins, the crypto market, or is this here? The altcoin markets outside of the top 10, they're struggling. We still, even in the peak of this run, of like this current bull run, like the last few years, the altcoin market didn't supersede. It didn't get above what we saw in 2021. So we haven't even cracked those highs yet. If you're under the assumption that it should, then we have a long way to go. That's if you're under the assumption that it should. Now, I do think that in long term, I think the altcoin market beyond these top 10 coins still will get bigger than the experiment that was the 2020 to 2021 crypto bull run. Like, that was just so ridiculous. And now that it's become, I guess I wouldn't say normal, but in the space, people are buying the most random things, and it's a speculative asset class. So, I mean, we have big companies that are literally picking up meme coins in their portfolio now. So I do think we get above the highs that we've seen in the past. I think overall money does just flow and then waterfalls. I don't necessarily believe that the Bitcoin dominance is always going to get smaller, like long term. I don't think that's really the case. If you look at like stock market, where does the most money go? It's the biggest ones, the top 7, top 10. So, but either way, anyways, my point being is that I think we have a long way to go still. And then not just because it's good for my bags, just from a completely unbiased perspective, interest rates haven't even started dropping yet. Bonds haven't even started going up yet. Like, we just have a long way to go. But yeah, anyways, let's take a look at what we got going on here. Dow starting to drop here. It has dropped about 70 points. Played into this little order block right here. Very tiny one. And now it's starting to drop. Cool. I think we probably go higher anyways. We saw NQ. That's why. That makes more sense. NASDAQ took out the highs from yesterday. So take a look at this. NQ just goes and clears yesterday's highs. And when it does that, at the same time is when we see, at the exact same moment, we see Dow play out of this tiny little pump right there. So the timing of this is really good. That's why this does kind of make sense. And I can zoom in here if you guys want. So check this out. I've totally ignored the chat. My bad, guys. I just been locked in. So if we go here, I just want you guys to see kind of what happens here. You see it's just 1 minute. It pumps right there. And then it loses momentum and keeps dropping. So that little candle where it kind of just threw off came up and then right back down. This was the only one. That was the difference here. This thing is bleeding now. So the timing of that was perfect though. NQ clears liquidity, clears the highs, clears yesterday's highs overall. At the same time, Dow gets to that specific level. And there is a lot of resistance here previously, and then it starts to short. Let's say I was in a short here. I actually wouldn't be completely sold on this idea. I would probably take some profits because this is a tight trade. I don't know how many of you trade like that, but yeah, I would take profits because I don't think this is the move. I think we go higher. Okay, so that's my take on that so far. Bitcoin creating some liquidity up here. Okay, let's look at stocks again today. So I made a post yesterday on Clearfield and how there was just a lot of negative narrative despite all of its actual numbers being good, which is just hilarious in my opinion. So that's just how much narrative and orchestration happens. Plus these are small. This is small. This is for a stock. 440 million is so tiny. So expect big volatility just within months. Not too far away from entries for me. So we dip under 30 and start scooping this up. With that being said, the winners for today, Nintendo still just going fucking crazy. Sony still ripping. Celsius still going even higher. Let's see here. Chewy, Melo. Oh, this is one I wanted to share yesterday, and I totally forgot. Dang. So, Visa. Now, I'm really bullish on Americans making bad decisions. Well, I guess not just Americans, because more than Americans have a Visa, but the world is bad with debt, which means that interest is paid, which means that credit card companies, I just don't see a world in which they're not profitable or seen as profitable, because that's what stocks are, right? It's all just, what does it look like? Because when you're, think about it like this, right? When you're buying a stock or you're buying a crypto, it's because it's not that just you think price is going to go up. It's that I believe that other people are going to want to buy at higher prices still. And so this was the range for buys on Visa. This just going back to fill here is kind of a 10% move. So the downside with this is that it's already just a behemoth. It is just up here. The market cap on Visa is 646 billion. So this is a big player. Not the biggest, but it's pretty big. However, I can't imagine a company that basically monetizes debt. I feel like it'll only keep going higher. Like the U.S. has 30-something trillion in debt. So in general, I don't know. This is one that's like a safe, long-term one in the way I'm looking at this. So, but yeah, anyways, if it dips back under 335, 334, I think this is a good call. But yeah, I totally ended up forgetting to get back into this. So I'll push an alert if it gets back into the zone. Someone asked me to look at what's crazy is Microsoft cracked 4 trillion market cap. Isn't that insane? 4 trillion. Nuts. All right, some more, steady movement with ENPH. So working its way up a little bit now. Dude, Robinhood just doesn't stop going. This is insane. Coinbase, honestly, what I think is actually getting back to pretty good entries is Coinbase. I think Coinbase entries over here. Let's see if we can get something around 275 or under. Pretty solid. Considering just like, because now we're seeing a big difference between where Bitcoin's at, like how crypto's moving and how Coinbase is moving. Usually they're moving in a similar way. Right now, there's kind of a divergence behind that. So I'm definitely open to scooping up around 275. I have a pretty wide zone to buy this. Like Coinbase is one of those where if you're, this is one of those that if I wasn't just already spread out quite a bit, then I would be dollar cost averaging in probably just most of the time. I see Coinbase as a long-term, like, gonna really, really do well. Coinbase right now is at 75 billion market cap. And I see this going way bigger. And now we're at a point where Robinhood has actually overtaken Coinbase. And just for comparison, Webull is 7 billion. So, yeah, we got a lot of room to go. This is so small. Oh, my God. Dang. I have this one on my radar. This is SoundHound. It's an AI company. And, yeah, it just pumped 30%. I didn't get into this one, sadly. Same thing with this one here. JFrog. Look at that. Rebalance and rip. This thing has gone up. Oh, my goodness. 25% in like a day. Wow, then. Entries in Kindle are up. So if you took the buys below 30s into 29s, up a little bit, 5-6%. It's looking good. I'm gonna place an alert here when it fills over there. So sick. So after it tanked, suddenly there was an announcement, a strategic collaboration afterwards. Dude, it's so funny. All of this is just orchestration of narratives for better pricing and just rinse and repeat. Right? That basically covers it. Peso still just kind of hovering within our zone. Everything else, I'm pretty much chilling with. I don't see. I don't think I'm gonna be on the mark and the chart really at all after this. I have some alerts here with, with YM, but just staring at this thing is kind of pointless. So set your alerts. Have access to your charts. Say be ready, but continuing to look at this stuff really isn't going to change anything. If you do want to still work on the craft, then I would recommend you go into the classroom section in here, start going through the playbook, start going through the vault. Actually, you know what I'll do right now is I'm going to make sure I can give you guys, I can open up one of these. Let's see which one will require the least amount of time. I can give you guys, yeah, I'll do this one. I think, is this one ready? Oh, it is. Did I just never publish this one? Oh, that's hilarious. Cool. Then I have one ready for you guys. If you want to watch a course that I did in 2023, then yeah, I'll open up this one for you. Like, basically right now. Because I don't think this one's open. Is it open? Can you watch this one? Oh, it's a draft. Okay, cool. So yeah, go into the classroom. And if you don't have access to it right now, I will give you access to it. Is what stopped? Did I freeze or something? Are you still waiting for the CLFD play? Yeah, I am, DJ. Oh, chat was active in here. Despite me totally ignoring you guys and being a dick. Yeah, I'm in the peso. CFDs, yeah, CFDs is gonna look different. Futures is more accurate. When would you move to break even? I think I went over that. Snag the bottom on Mexican because I wanted for it to hit the CFD zone. Nice. We selling Dow. I will sell Dow. My first shot at Dow is going to be if it gets back up into like 44, 440. Maybe just 44, 444. That's got to be, it's got to be luck, right? I've got to give us some luck. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this session, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and go watch all my videos because, you know, that helps us. And if you enjoyed a week full of value, then I think it would be really cool if you guys showed some love and supported me. Whether you guys want to rock the our Freedom Collection later next month in September, it's going to be a vibe. So check it out. Would love to see you guys there. It's going to be awesome. Shoot me a message if you're interested and you want to go and you need details. We can hop on a call and sort everything out. Same thing, whether it's the payment options as well. But yeah, much love, guys. We're going to be doing something really special here very soon. A couple new things. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop my 2023 Smart Money Bootcamp. That alone, the amount of testimonials that I think were created from that itself was epic. So going to go ahead and share that for you guys. And yeah, you'll have access to that. Don't miss out. So let me know how it went, guys. If you enjoyed this week, if you got some value, like, subscribe. Feel free to support the brand. Huh? I did. And then, yeah, that will be locked in. So, cool. Smart Money Bootcamp was fire. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. We'll be back here again on Monday. Let's get it. Peace.